Hello, we do have another SASL Season 3 Round 2 game. Looks like we will be having Bielsko vs Ascel PvP, and I do actually have Visions with me. Say hello, buddy.
How are you guys?
This is your first cast, is it not?
Yeah. So we're gonna see how this goes.
So good, we love having new casters in. As we jump into the screen, we are counting down. And it will be obviously on Cloud Kingdom LE, which is the first required map for round 2.
I predict Ascel's either gonna proxy gate or cannon rush. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
We'll soon find out. So, do you have any preference? Do you want to do the intros, or are you happy with me to jump in there with them?
Yeah, jump in.
Alright, sweet. Good, because I could be bothered. So just waiting on a few of the spectators to finish loading. And we are in the game, so I'll jump straight into introductions and then we'll get the scoreboard sorted. So spawning in our top right hand corner, we do have the blue Protoss Bielsko. And what clan is he with again? Is it?
Zeri Gaming.
There we go, that's right. Ascel representing himself, actually the representative for Juice Studios, a major sponsor. Nonetheless, we do have spawning our bottom left hand corner the orange Protoss Ascel. And I'll jump onto Bielsko's cam for a moment there. Actually, we'll jump on yours, and you can do some scanning around while I update the scoreboard.
Oh god, this is gonna be terrible.
You can get...
There we go, Bielsko's already scouting for cheese. Like, a little bit early, but okay. We have Ascel. Well, both guys throwing down a pylon. Bielsko's finishing soon. And like Artanis said, PvP, Protoss is gonna BVP in this matchup. Just see which one's which. Gates coming down for both guys here. Both on 13. Both standard so far. We'll see if Ascel's going to cheese soon, but I think he's going to miss his window.
I'm back. Yeah, I'll tell Bielsko. So it looks like Bielsko might have had that black backing as I show now on the stream. Thank you for holding fort there, Stuart, while I got the stream sorted. Let me know, guys, if any of it is incorrect. Shout out to Ulscars, love that kid. And are we correct? We do have the same opening from both parties of the... And I guess it'd be interesting, I mean, as a Protoss player, you'd probably be more likely to be able to do some analysis on this, but it'd be interesting to see, is 4-gate common on this map at all?
You know, I actually haven't had much PvP on this map, so I can't really do much. It's a long map, so I'd assume Blinkstalker or 4-gating is probably going to be the standard.
Well, we do have the second gas now taken for Bielsko, so it looks unlikely that you'd have a 4-gate. I mean, it's not...
Ascel's already got 2 gates down and getting a Stalker. So I think we might see a 3 Stalker push out from Ascel and try to apply a little bit of early pressure while he gets some tech or an expansion behind it.
We still have only on 1 gas.
2 gates. I predict we're going to see a robo drop down from Bielsko just because he took that the second gas quite early. I actually have no idea what Ascel's doing. I'm not gonna lie about this. There we go. Second gas coming down now.
Yeah, I know, like the PvPs I've casted so far, I find it really hard to kind of know what's coming. It's kind of like all at once it happens. And at the start of the game, I mean around the 6.5 minute, I guess as a Terran player, around the 6.5 minutes when Protoss generally shows what they're up to.
Ah, Stargate coming down from Bielsko. So, might see some Phoenix play, which is starting to pick up in popularity, so we'll see what Ascel does. He is going out with those 3 Stalkers, and going to apply some pressure, and this could be pretty bad for Bielsko if he's not careful. He does have 2 stalkers, 2 sentries up, so he will be able to force build about 3 or 4 times by the time this push gets here. So he should be able to defend it. And
I guess he did actually see the Zealot was on the watchtower, so he did see that these 3 are on the way, and he is actually has his sentries selected at the moment, so more than likely does know what's coming.
And Stargate just finishing up for Bielsko, so we'll see if he goes for Void Rays or Phoenixes first.
So Twilight Council going down, so it looks like you may be having that Blink Hobbs play, as you might have suggested earlier.
And Phoenix is coming out for Bielsko, so he'll be able to hold this fine if Ascel does decide to push up this ramp, but as much as I'm going to hate on him during this cast, he's not a complete idiot. So he shouldn't lose any early stalkers from this. And
good information from Bielsko to see that there was that Twilight Council up. We'll give him a bit of intel. Given that he was attacked by the 3 stalkers, saw the Twilight Council, surely you'd assume that Blink is on the way, which it is starting right now. And we do have Phoenix, 2 Phoenixes now, with a 3rd on the way. Ascel doesn't actually know it's, he does have this play. Quickly unit counts, 2 Phoenix, 6 Stalkers. So even on Stalker count, actually interestingly enough, Ascel is only on 23 workers versus 28 of Bielsko. So Bielsko has a larger army size and also economy, but it looks like we might be having engagement. And a nice force field will trap in one of the Stalkers, actually gets 2 of them. And really no gain for Ascel there.
And like TVH Sif pointed out, he was blindly hoping for Immortals. I do kind of agree with that, but with these Phoenixes and being able to catch those Stalkers out early, he's going to be able to deflect any kind of Blink Stalker push without an issue. Ascel risking an expansion here. He is behind, so he needs to catch up in some way, but oof, taking so much damage there.
Yeah, he hasn't
it's natural.
Been able to do anything, and he still hasn't scouted with his Overseer, and doesn't know that the Stargate play is. These Phoenixes did go past the pylon, but I'm not sure if he did so, and it looks like he did know that they were coming.
Yeah. So he should be able to deflect this without taking too much damage.
But it's good intel to know that there is that expansion up. More than likely, Bielsko will go for an attack, given that, like you said, it was pretty risky to do that expo.
Oh, he's already geared up and ready to go for a push and getting ready to get his pylon down. So.
Well, yeah, he's only got 23 workers, so it's interesting, like the fact that he's definitely not been economy at his main point. It looks like we're going to have a main engagement, and these Phoenix are actually going to make quite a big difference, just lifting off a multiple amount of Stalkers, and even though they can't actually attack, obviously these Stalkers will decimate this army, and look at the army size. It's not looking good.
Poor Ascel. See, this is the risk you take with PvP. If you can't get any damage done and you expand, especially with Phoenix up on the board, you're way too vulnerable for it.
And yeah, I don't really see how there's any way that Ascel will recover from this. He's down on workers. If we look at army size, he's like, a third of that of Bielsko's. He's lost a significant more. In fact, Bielsko's only lost 3 units, 300 minerals. So pretty impressive ability to maintain his units. But it's going to be a final push.
Just taking expansion now, playing it safe, just in case Askel's able to hold this. He'll have his expansion up and running. He's just going to be able to contain him.
And it looks like he's waiting for level 1 upgrades, or actually level 1 upgrades is about to complete for Ascel, but it's going to be too late, and these Phoenixes are just going to probably make the biggest difference. The fact that half of his Stalker army is useless when they're lifted.
And he lost so many Stalkers in the early game as well, he just didn't have that count to be able to deal with them.
And then there's the GG. So, I guess, you're the PvP man, so what are your thoughts on the game? Was it, like you're saying, that the Phoenix play is apparently becoming more standard?
Yeah, I have not really played around with Phoenix play. My multitasking is pretty horrible. And you really need to be able to make sure you can do that with your Phoenix play to harass the mineral line, harass the army, while still maintaining your count. And yeah, Phoenix so fragile in the early game, you lose any, it does put you at a huge disadvantage, but as we saw, Bielsko pulled it off quite nicely.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess Bielsko was always a favourite coming into this Masters versus Platinum, but yeah, interesting to see how the next game pans out. Like you're saying that there was kind of a blind assumption that Immortals were coming out, so do you reckon Ascel will change anything going into the second game, given that he did see that Stargate play?
Personally, I think he should lube up before this game, but that's just me.
Oh, well, I think it's a valid point. You know, you want to make sure you're prepared. In fact, we might actually be having you know, a little bit of a break as he does whatever he needs to do. We'll let everyone know as soon as we know, but there could be speculations. Obviously, Stuart, you're all up for speculating that kind of activity.
Dude, I'm definitely down for speculating on that activity. I probably shouldn't be casting.
It's alright. This is your interview.
Oh god.
So yeah. Lube up. As the old cast says, lube up. That is a famous quote from the man. So I guess while we're between games, we'll do our shout outs to our sponsors. Like I said, Ascel is actually our representative for Juice Studios, which is our major sponsor. As we jump into the second game lobby. So Juice Studios are for cheap and reliable Australian-based web hosting, and VPS go no further than juicestudios.com.au. Underneath them we have Terra Australis, one of Southeast Asia's most established StarCraft 2 clans. Terra Australis is perfect clan for any StarCraft 2 enthusiast. Be sure to check them out at www.clan-ta.com. And finally, but not least, we have Channel 4 News Team, a group of gaming enthusiasts delivering high-quality reviews and previews of games on the horizon. Be just sure to check them out at www.c4nt.net. Thank you again to our sponsors. As we jump into the game lobby of number 2, will be Daybreak LE as chosen by Ascel, and we'll be having a PvP. Anything notable about PvP engagements on Daybreak?
Once again, this is one of the 20 maps that I haven't had a lot of experience on for PvP. I've not played a lot of ladder, and outside of the SASL round 3, I haven't been super active. But big map, I'd assume 4 gates are always popular. Yeah, unfortunately I can't help you there, buddy.
It's alright, man. I just wanted to open up.
Ascel will just cheese, like, he'll cheese this game, that's it.
Alright, well, I'll hold you to that, and we look forward to seeing some cheese. So, spawning in our bottom left corner, we'll get straight into introductions. The victor of the first game with some nice Stargate play. Those Phoenixes actually proving quite valuable in lifting up those stalkers. We do have the dark blue Protoss Bielsko, and spawning cross positions in this 1v1 map. We do have the orange Protoss Ascel. Needs to win this one to take it to a third game, and has been perhaps we'll be seeing cheese from the orange player. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And look, here's your opportunity to go on OBS again. You are now OBS while I update.
Oh gee, thanks buddy.
Yeah, no worries. It's my pleasure. I'd like to share the love around.
Oh baby, I like the way you talk.
Ooh, it's getting a bit warm. And finally, I was wondering why I was really quiet when I wasn't on the screen. It was because I didn't have play in background ticked. First world problems, there you go. Alright, Bielsko is 1 up in this best of 3. If he takes this, we'll take the set 2-0. And it's really up to Ascel to apply that pressure and get the victory to make it a best of 3. PvP map doesn't matter. What are they talking about? I did miss that.
So did I. Let's bring it up. Okay, and we just had Ascel going on about his secret lover, Artanis. He is a big fan of Phoenix play, and Ascel admitting that he's a terrible player and can't actually use them. And just saying that he doesn't even like this map.
We need
so he doesn't know why he chose it.
We need a Bazinga count from you.
Oh god, I wouldn't.
It looks like Ascel is going for his own scout. Bielsko actually quite an early scout. I guess, you know, there's no real concern for any kind of aggression as the gateway doesn't come out for some time. And he's doing some nice little mineral harass.
It's always good if you've got the control,
And,
you can
what do we have
really
down
cut down their income in the early game.
Right. While the sub and X-Core, he is building a very early pylon out of the base. And actually, if Bielsko scouts around, he will see that there is only 2 pylons in the base. And it will be, at least I think it would be pretty obvious that there is a proxy pylon somewhere, given the stage of the game. That 3rd pylon should be down by now.
And he should also notice that Ascel hasn't produced anything from his gateway, whereas Bielsko's already got his Zealot almost finishing, Warp Gate on the way. So I think what we might see is proxy Dark Templars and Twilight Council coming down now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Bielsko is aware that there is a pylon missing. And maybe actually gearing up for his own pressure. We do have Warp Gate. They're both actually at similar timings. But it'd be interesting to see if your thoughts are correct. I'd say it'd be a reasonable one. And there we go, we get the 4 gate.
Bam. So, once again, I hope Ascel did lube up before this game, because he will need it in a minute. His only saving grace is going to be if he can get those Dark Templars out in time to deflect the 4 gate. But ideally what you want to do is get an early sentry out, and that way you can force field your ramp a few times while you get some DTs, and they'll have no detection to deal with it. But unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the case.
Yeah, so we're correct. We do have a Twilight Council, and then we will be having more than likely DTs coming through. But this 4 gate is going to hit well before that. And back in my day, in the 1980s, we actually didn't see very many 4 gates. So, what are your thoughts on the recent metagame in the last 20 years?
Recent metagame has shifted quite a bit.
And actually some nice control. Ascel, wow, that ability, obviously as a sandwich artist at Subway, making his micro of his probes are exceptionally strong. And will actually take down this Zealot exceptionally easily. I'm very impressed. So,
and now you need to go for the probe, there you go.
And looks like we do have a pylon in the base from Bielsko, equivalent of a mule drop.
Ascel almost taking care of that pylon outside of the base. If he had those sentries, he could have deflected this push and built up and tried to deal with the 4 gate. However,
yeah,
that hasn't happened.
Yeah, that DT shrine is not going to be even remotely close. It is the equal longest building unit, building in the game.
And here we go. Bielsko is just going to wreak terrible damage.
Oh, and using the mineral trick too, it's absolutely
Ascel clearly dragging this game out for as long as he can, going to counter into the base.
Yeah, it's going for a probe all in. Very strong build.
I mean, if he can get a couple of DTs out, he might be able to turn it into a base race, but Bielsko will clearly have the advantage.
We do have a robo almost complete, so by the time the first DT hits, if he hasn't already started... Sorry, my computer lagged quite a bit.
Okay.
He already has started his first observer, so even by the time the DTs hit, he will have obs back in home.
The only thing I could really... There we go, a couple of DTs coming into the main for Ascel. He's happy now, he got them out. I think we're probably going to see a GG in a minute.
Yeah, it's a sign of the ability of a Protoss player when they wait for a certain unit to come out in the field before GGing. Don't have to worry about that as a Terran player because the that key unit is a Marine, which you are available to at very early in the game. So you can GG out at any point in time and not feel like you've missed out on the game.
But you build Marines and you don't have to GG
out. Oh, these DTs are going to get annihilated.
There about those DTs.
Oh, wow.
And Ascel clearly didn't think that he would get an obs out. And yeah, calling hacks. And so there we go.
That became a massive troll fest at the end. Apologies. You're a bad influence on my casting. You bring out the bad side of me. But that will wrap up this game 2-0 in the favor of Bielsko. I guess it was to be expected, and you were correct in saying Ascel was going to do some cheesy play. So +1 to your ability to say such things. Very skillful. I'll have to ask you in future about your predictions so I can use them in my streams.
They'll always choose. You can just get a recording of me saying they'll choose, and
Okay,
it'll do.
I'll do that. Just be like, this game, they're going to choose. Anyway, thanks for viewing. We will be checking this up on YouTube. Probably shouldn't really, because the way we've been casting. But nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. I actually can confirm that later on tonight we will be having. I think I'm casting. What is it? TOR versus SPR, GM High Master Clan War. So that should be pretty exciting. So thank you again, Stuart, for tuning in and casting with me.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
That's okay. You definitely won the troll war.
Yes, yes.
And we'll see you guys next time.